sight for Mariner.
Giddy up, baby, giddy up! Gone!
Kyle Seager's back. He's just crushing it right now.
That just happened.
Seattle's pitching has been very good.
Swing and miss. He got a nasty pitch there.
Lights out all season long.
15 punch shots for Felix Hernandez.
The king in charge. Shoot that arrow in the sky. Congratulations to the Oakland Athletics. It puts a wild card spot. The Mariners are eliminated.
Mariners not resting on their laurels. They have been busy this offseason. Nelly Cruz got a 4-year deal worth almost $60 million. Jay Happ acquired from the Toronto Blue Jays for Michael Saunders. Kyle Seager, 7 years, $100 million. You look at it at first, you're like, $100 million, and then you break it down, you're like, yeah, Mariners got the good end of that one. And here is the architect of the Mariners, good enough to join us, Jack Zduriencik. All right, Jack, you've been busy so far, man. You got it going. When you sign a guy like Nelly Cruz, the Major League home run leader, to a 4-year deal, when you hang up the phone, when the deal's done, do you do a little like celebratory dance or something? You got to.
No, you know what? It's business as usual.
Oh.
Just, because the next thing is probably the most important thing, So what you have in the bag, which is nice with what we've done, but, you're always worrying about what's the next thing you're going to do to help your club.
Yeah. Jack, I want to ask you about how this whole thing's evolved. You come into Seattle, start to build it back up, bunch of kids, stay with me, I'm building this thing, you get there, and now people are starting to see the vision. So how did this happen, and what do you think you still need to add?
Well, we had great support from ownership. I think that they committed to player development and scouting. Our guys, Tom McNamara, our scouting director, went out and did a really, really nice job. We've got some nice international signs. But it's this process that takes place, and it doesn't happen overnight. You guys have been in the game for, you know it. It just takes time. So the lumps and bumps, the vision at the end, you just have to let kids grow up. And along the way, you might stub your toe here or there, but never take your eye off what your vision is, and that's to build it through player development scouting. And now we're in a position where we could add some pieces the last couple of years, and that's been huge.
So now you got the Mariners, tough ballpark to hit in. You've always been able to pitch. The offense, now it's starting to shape up nicely. But there's still a couple names out there now, and you got Justin Upton we've been hearing about. You got a Melky Cabrera situation. Do you trade a young arm like a Taijuan Walker for a Justin Upton? Those kind of things. What do you think? Well, just tell us, because no one's watching the show. What's the next plan? What's the next move?
Well, I think it'd be really difficult to give up what you think is the strength of your staff, and that's your pitching. Our bullpen was #1 in baseball last year. Our starting pitching, when you look at the top of the rotation with Felix and Iwakuma, and then you look at young guys like Paxton, Walker, Ilias, now we've added, J.A. Happ, we think is going to give us a veteran presence, that's the core of our club, and now we've had these other offensive pieces now. So, we want to add. We're going to continue to listen. We have a lot of dialogue going, but it would have to take something, pretty special to try to, have us give up something young and controllable.
But how often do you get calls on Paxton and Walker? Like every 8 minutes?
Yeah, everybody you talk to, everybody's smart in the game. These are very talented young kids, they're terrific talents. So why wouldn't you ask about them? Why wouldn't you, have clubs say, let's sit down and talk? And you should. At the end of the day, it'd take a tough package to move those guys.
But at the same time, you've got a fan base that's starving for a winner. You guys have the second longest playoff drought in all of baseball behind the Toronto Blue Jays.
Dang, man, relax now.
No, I'm just, but they are facts.
Well, it was the Royals.
But it is easy.
Now they got there. I got it.
Can I ask him a serious question?
Sure, Chris, go ahead.
Knuckleheads button in. And I ask it because some fans will say, okay, we're that close, but if we can get Justin Upton for a year, I'll deal with down the road. Does that factor into the thought process?
Yeah, but I think our fans are pretty sophisticated. They're very dedicated. They love the Mariners. But I also think that they've been through 10 years of some struggles. Now you're sitting there for the next period of time, whatever that might be, where this could be pretty special. We have some kids that could become all-stars and be staples of this organization for years to come. It's challenging to try to move one of those guys right now, and I think our fans understand that. But, we've added Nelly. Last year, you think about what we've done the last 3 years. We signed Felix long-term. We've added Robinson last year. We brought in Fernando Rodney. Logan Morrison's been a good player for us. Now we have Nelly Cruz, signed Seager long-term. Things are trending in the right direction for us.
So you can pull up to the gas station now and pump gas without the guy next to you going, what are you doing?
Well, I've been there. I've been there before a few times.
So now, what do you set out to get a right-handed bat? You got one. Will you continue to do that? Is that what you're looking for, more?
I'd love to add another offensive piece. I don't think it's a secret, and I think it would depend on when we sit down in the room with another ball club or we sit down with some free agents to figure out exactly what that's going to be. We have a target. We have ideas. Everything fits into a salary structure as well. Nobody's unlimited in this game for the most part. But, we'll do the best we can to turn over every rock and see if we can make our club better.
Can you give us quickly the anatomy of a deal? What's the shortest lifespan or shelf life it's ever taken? Let's say somebody calls you, says, Jack, I got a proposed trade. Have you ever done one and wrapped it up in an hour, say? I mean, does that ever happen?
Probably the quickest one. Last year at the winter meetings, Dan Jennings and I made a phone call he was looking for a bullpen piece. I heard possible Logan Morrison to be available. We've always liked Logan. I called Dan, boom, we got together, and it wasn't very long. It was boom, 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 deal's done, and they got a really nice young arm in Carter Capps, and we got what we think is a really nice, corner player in Logan Morrison.
How frustrated were you that Felix didn't win the Cy Young?
You have to respect the process. I think all of us thought that Felix should have won it. Kudos to the guys that were in it. There's some really, really talented guys, and who won it deserves it. But, when you look at Felix breaking an all-time record, 16 consecutive starts with
7+ innings.
Yeah, it's just phenomenal. It's
two runs or less.
So I got to ask you about the big one, too. $240 million last year for Cano. On one-year assessment, what do you think? Did you get what you thought you were getting, or was he more, or was he less than what you thought you were going to get in return?
He's been everything we thought and more. The Pied Piper, he goes to the batting cage, they follow him. A great leader, great teammate, great person. We love Robinson Cano in Seattle.
But have you been to a Jay-Z show in the last year?
I have not been to Jay-Z's show, but I've been with Jay-Z.
Yeah, away. That's good enough for us.
Go on stage,
good
Jack.
enough for us.
What's up? Raise the roof.
This is the real, original Jay-Z.
Yes. Jack Zduriencik, as always, it's great catching up with you. Enjoy the winter meetings, okay?
Thanks for having me on.
You got it. As always, we appreciate it.